Hey, this is Michael. Welcome to Basic Options 4, reading a price chart and basic chart setup. So this is really a fundamental basic class on how to read a price chart. It's entry level for sure, but not a bad idea to take a review. You might pick up a few things if you've already set up your charts. But I'm just going to go over how to read a price chart from top to bottom, how to take advantage of price movement, but for the most part it is going to be how to read a price chart. Okay, let's dive right in. As I said, we are not going to go over indicators and complete chart setup with entries and exits and all that kind of stuff on here, moving averages. We just want to go over the actual fundamentals of a price chart and being able to read a price chart correctly. A lot of times people will look at a chart and see a whole bunch of lines and squiggly lines and candle bars up and down and red and green and blue. And so this is just kind of a primer to get a feel for what a chart looks like and be able to navigate. So the first thing that we're going to cover is the upper left-hand corner of the chart. So there's a lot of information right up here. This is kind of your navigation as to what takes place. So the first thing that we're going to cover is where the stock symbol gets entered. So that's usually right here. And today we're looking at Home Depot. Home Depot, the symbol is HD. And you can click on that and change that to any chart you want. So if you want to look at the S&P 500, you can look at SPY, and that's the S&P 500. If you want to look at Apple, you put in the stock symbol for Apple, and this is the Apple chart. So this is where you can change the chart. Okay, and the next over is the time frame. So right now we're looking at a daily chart. So you can see this says daily. That means you're looking at a daily chart. And you can create in the parameters and the settings how many years you want to look back. Typically it's 5 years or 10 years worth of data is collected, so you go back that far if you need to. But this is a daily chart. What that means is that each one of these bars represents one day in time. This is the ebb and flow of the market day by day by day by day, which is an important chart to look at if you are a swing trader. It's somewhat important as your anchor chart if you're a day trader, anchor meaning the longest term chart you're going to look at to identify a trend, either up or down if you're trading the trend, and then you have a trigger chart, which would be a smaller time frame. So clearly if I'm day trading throughout the day, I'm not going to use this chart to do it because I'd only be looking at this one bar kind of going up and down. Smaller time frames inside of this daily chart, which we'll look at in a second, that will give you better information on what's happening in terms of the ebb and flow of the market during the day, during the hours of the day, during the minutes of the day. So you can break it all the way down from a monthly chart all the way down to a by the minute chart. The minute chart is not important for people who are swing trading. Swing trade is anything that's more than a day. It might be important for a day trader so they can see what's happening minute to minute. Let's just get back to this upper left-hand corner. So you'll see the numbers are changing here because the market is open. What you'll see here is this is the high of the day, which it will show, which for Home Depot, the high of the day today is $228.78. The low of the day was $226.25, and V is volume. So this is how many shares actually traded, and this number will just keep going up throughout the day. It's a little over 2 million shares, so this is a very active stock. The L and the O, L means last, so that's the very last price, the last trade at the last price. If the high is 228.78, right now it's trading at, and that's the last. Right now it's trading at 228.53, and you'll see within a few seconds someone will buy something or sell something, and this number will change as we're speaking. On the day so far, just for the day, because this is green, Home Depot is up almost 2%. Market's having a strong move today. Most of the stocks are up. and O means open. So this would be the opening number. That's how Home Depot opened. It opened at 226. It made a low 226.30. It made a low of 226.25, so it only dropped about 5 cents. The rest of the day, pretty positive, which you could see actually right here. This is today, right? So you can see this was the low right here, the bottom of this stick, and the top is the highest it ever went. So if you look at the high, 228.78, and where is it now? 228.55, 57. So you can see this green here. This is moving as we go. As this moves higher, lower, you'll see this number moving up and down and up and down. You can select the time frame. There are drawing tools and studies that you can apply to the chart. Style, which we'll do, and actually we'll do the style in just a second. Down here, across the bottom, is time. So it's because it's a daily chart. These are days. So this is going back from mid-April, and this is just daily. So if it's a daily chart, that means each one of these sticks represents a day. So you have time along the bottom and price in dollars going up and down on the right axis. Those are the two axes. So anytime you look at a chart, it's always going to be time based on the time frame that you select. And this will always be in dollars. If you click on time frame, you'll see all the different time frames you can look at. So the biggest time frame is, monthly. This goes back all the way to 2011. And I can keep going. If I want to just scroll over, I can just keep going and going and going, year by year by year. So now we're looking at, about 8 years of data. This is a monthly chart. So each one of these sticks represents a month. So this is a helpful chart. If you're a swing trader, if you like trading and holding the position for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, it would be important to find something with a monthly trend. So this has a nice monthly trend. When it goes from left of the screen to the right of the screen, from lower to higher, that is an upward trend. So this is a nice trending stock. Little pullbacks here and there. But what you'll notice as we look at other time frames, this looks like a pretty straight ahead chart. Look, every day it's higher. Just at a glance, this just looks like almost like a straight line. But what you'll notice is when you go to a weekly chart, inside of that month, you're going to see ebbs and flows. So it isn't ever straight up and down. There are always ebbs and flows along the way. So this is like the last year. Okay, this goes from 2018 to present. And look at the ups and downs during the weeks. And then you can look at the daily chart. This is the daily chart. This is, like I said before, just the ups and downs over the last few months. And so you might use this for swing trading. Again, swing trading is any more than one day. Now, day trading is buying something at 11 o'clock and selling it at 3 o'clock, or even at 11:05. It could be within 5 minutes. It happens trading, and it happens open and closing your position in the course of a trading day. Swing trading is anything that's more than one trading day. So it could be, you could buy it today and sell it tomorrow. That's more of a swing trade. Swing traders like myself, and what we teach here at Trade With Me Now, is looking at this daily chart as one of our base charts. We'll initially look at the monthly chart as our anchor. Do we like the trend? Yes. We'll look at a weekly chart for more confirmation of that trend. So let's go back to the beginning of right here, 2019. You'll see it's making a high, it pulls back a little bit. It makes another high, it pulls back a little bit. Constantly moving upward. High and pulls back a little bit. It's making another high. This is a nice stair-step climb. I like this chart, as would anybody. But before you can decide when to get in, like, do you buy here? Do you buy here? Do you buy it here? Do you sell it here? Where do you buy? Where do you sell? Where do you set up your entries and exits? Well, you can't tell from the weekly. The weekly will give you confirmation as an anchor to tell you that you're looking at a chart that's trending nicely upward. And if that's what you're looking for, a stock that's trending higher consistently, has a nice upward motion from left to right, then you can break it down to your base chart, or what I like to refer as my swing chart, where I find my setups. Find my setups on the swing chart. So here you can look just in the month of August. So it came down a little bit towards the end of July. As we know, we had a nice pullback in the first week of August, and historically the first week of August is kind of weak. People are still away, getting prepared for school. They're not trading all that much. But look at this movement here over the last week or so. Gapping up, higher, little pullback, up, gapping up higher, gapping up higher. This thing's on the move. This thing just won't stop. This is what I like to refer to as a honey badger. Honey badgers don't care about anything. If you've ever seen a video of honey badgers in the wild, they could have elephants around them, snakes coming at them, tigers, and they just go doop-de-doop-de-doop, and they just walk around like they don't have a care in the world. Honey badger don't care. And that's kind of Home Depot. Home Depot doesn't care what the market's doing. It's just going to go and go and go and go and go. And that's what it's been doing. So this is my swing trade chart. Where I go, yeah, I like it. And then there's what's known as a trigger chart. We'll get into this later in more detail, but my trigger chart could be, say, a 30-minute. So now I'm going to break down this daily chart. This is the day right here. And this is yesterday. This is the day before yesterday. But I want to see a little closer in terms of what's going on today. I want to know when is a good time for me to enter this trade. I'll look maybe at a 30-minute chart and take a closer look. This is just what's happening today. So this morning, what happened? Woke up this morning, boom, it gapped up. That just means that the stock opens at a higher price than it closed the day before. Okay, it didn't just go doom, 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 all the way up. It gapped. And now it's moving further, higher, higher, higher. Now it looks like this chart is kind of running away with it. There's no good entry here for me. And the reason why there isn't is this thing's getting ready to do one of these pullbacks. Remember, this is a 30-minute chart now. This isn't daily any longer. Look at the ebbs and flows. Goes up, pulls back. Comes up, gap up, little pullback. Gaps up, pulls back. Gaps up, pull back. Up, back, up, back. Up and forth, right? So the last thing I want to do is buy it up here because I'm so excited it's doing so well. We're going to get into really great detail on how to find these setups and how to analyze this properly. This is really more of a, know how to read your chart kind of thing, know how to read a price chart in terms of price. I can show you that on a daily, this move, okay, this move down from here down to here. Okay, let's just get our drawing tool. Look at this move from here to here. That is quite a move. So someone who's day trading, this is a great move for them to make money. So how would you know that? If you're trading up here, how would you know it's going to move down? Well, you're looking at a 30-minute chart. A 30-minute chart for a day trade like this, or even a short-term swing trade, you don't really have enough information. So if I go to a 5-minute chart, now look where this is. I'm going to just show you exactly where this is. This is, and by the way, when you click on the chart, it'll give you this information. The open, that's for the price that it opened, the high of the day, the low of the day, what the close is, and it gives you the up and down volume and the current price. Wherever the price is that you are at, it'll kind of move as you go. It shows HD. Okay, so let's start right here on this line. What you're going to notice right here, okay, is that it closed at 226.79. So right at about here, right where this horizontal line is. So how would I know that this is a good point in time to take advantage of a downward move? It's moved down a little bit, but how do I know that this thing's going to really pull down? So right here, which is the third, this is the first 30-minute bar of September 3rd. Okay, so now I'm going to drop down to a 5-minute chart and go to that same spot. And that same spot is right over, let's see, right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring that little window up. So right here, this is that same spot. Now look what happens in the first 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, about 30 minutes or so right in here. Just get my drawing tool. So right here is where it opened, right here, okay? And then in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, about 30 minutes or so, it came up to here. So I have a range. I have a trading range here in the opening. Now it gapped down in the morning. See this gap down first thing in the morning. Remember, we're looking at a 5-minute chart on September 3rd. It gaps down and it trades down and then up. It reaches this point and then starts to come down again. It reaches this point. Interesting how it didn't go further than here for 5, 10, 15, 20. It took like 25 minutes trading right at this line. That's known as support. This is a support level. This is a resistance level. We're going to talk about that in a lot of detail in another video. But you can see on the 5-minute chart, this thing traded within this range all the way up to here. All the way up to about here. And what you'll notice is right at this point is when it broke. It broke out of this range. You would not have seen that on the 30-minute chart or 60-minute chart or daily chart. But by breaking it down to looking at a 5-minute chart at that point in time, because I want to day trade this, I can look at this point and say, you know what, it's traded in this range till about 11:30 in the morning. That's 2 hours of trading, and it's kind of just gone up and down within this range. It just broke out of this range. This is where I want to short this stock, right around here. And look what it does. Continues lower, 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 trades sideways for a little bit, lower, 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 lower. Look at this move. But I would not have seen it on the 30-minute chart. So, okay, so let's go to the 30-minute again, and you will see at the same moment in time, right here on this bar, where the hand is, right where that hand is, the white hand, this bar here, okay, this doesn't really tell me anything. It tells me that it's moving, it's starting to move down at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of moved up and down. This is that range. This is that 30-minute range that we looked at. Remember when we drew the lines? This is that range right here. Well, this doesn't tell me anything. If all I can see is from here, you know, if I'm in real time, you know, and all I can see is up to this point right here. From here down over, right? I'm looking at this, okay? I don't see any of this. This doesn't exist yet, right? I'm looking at this chart. It's going up, down, and traveling sideways. And then when it opens in the morning, it has a range from here to here. This is what's happening on the 30-minute. This doesn't tell me, get into the trade, Michael. So what I have to do is I have to go down to the 5-minute, a smaller time frame of the same chart, and look exactly at that point in time. At that point in time, as we were at before, let's find it. Okay, right here. That's right here, where we had those lines on before. It gapped down, it went up, it came back, it went sideways, and then right here at this point here is when we see it starting to break down. And it broke out of that channel. So my point in going over this and spending so much time on this is that you really want to be able to use the different time frames based on what you want to trade. The longest time frame, like monthly, is your anchor chart. If you're a swing trader, if you're, and even weekly, using like the last, 3 months worth, looking at the weekly movement. You want to look at weekly. And then your base chart or your swing chart, if you're a Swing trader is going to be your daily in order to get your signal to see where I want to enter. Clearly, I do not want to enter here. And you can even look at a 30 or 60-minute chart just to confirm to see if you have a trigger here. I do not have a trigger here. I'm looking at the last, just today alone, of the 30-minute chart of Home Depot, and this thing is straight up. There is no opportunity for me to get in. There's no reason to get in when it's this high and this extended, because it's ready to do what? One of these pullbacks. So I'm waiting for that pullback on the 30-minute chart in order to trade. But if I'm a day trader, then my base chart is my daily, when I'm thinking, okay, wow, this is just making higher highs and higher highs, higher highs. I do want to take advantage of a little bit of a drop. So let's take a look at a 30-minute chart, kind of as your base chart. No news here. And then you want to take a look at the smaller time frame, which is maybe even a 5-minute chart. And look at this. This came up, and it's just been trading up and sideways all the way through. There is no trigger here for day trading either. Okay?